All right, how are we doing on this fine? What is it? Tuesday, right? It's so weird because there's no Tuesday. There's no hockey on Tuesday. So, all right, Billy, here we go. Billy wants to make sure he gets in on the action here. So, what the hell's going on here? Huh? 8-5. We can't score against the friggin' Lightning, right? And then 8 goals the next night is what it is. We'll take it. We'll absolutely take it. But boy, oh boy, oh boy. How about evening that out a little bit, huh? And what was going on with Bubba last night? What the hell happened last night, Bubba? What are we doing? She's not all his fault, but boy, his save percentage, boy, how did let's look here before we even get to the scores from last night. Bubba, don't get old, Bubba. So his goal, he's at 280 and an 883 for the season right now. It's actually, I mean, it's not the end of the world. It's obviously not Vesna numbers right now. But even last year, he was at a 906. So it's not like, you know, I mean, the years with the Panthers 900, 906, 913, 901, 915, 906, 883. It's a bit much. It's a bit much, but I think we'll be okay. The 2.8. I mean, the year we went to the Cup against Vegas, he had a 307 and a 901. So I think we'll be okay. Hey, Mythical, what did Samo do? I know, right? What did Samo do? Everybody got a point, pretty much, except for Sam Miskevich and I think Petrie, and of course Schwint didn't get one because he got hurt. Hey, Bill, how we doing, buddy? Today's good. It's 47, but the wind slowed down, so we're okay that way. I think Colin and I are going to actually manage to get to the gym when we get done here. Craig, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, goal every 3 shots. Kenneth says, Tarasov must be like WTF. Bob gets the goal support in the tough games. Well, that's when we got the 6 was the last Tarasov game. So the offense seems to be coming alive with the exception of that Tampa game. Steven says, boy, Bob does not seem to have the game saver this season. If a team breaks with a good chance, it's going in. It's interesting because I want to look at his game logs from last year because I really feel like he didn't start off all that spectacular last year either. Goals allowed early on in the season by Bobrovsky, all the way up to about the same date we are here. 4-2, 3-3, 3-5. 1-2, 4-2, 3-5, a shutout, and then 4 on November 19th, and we're still here on November 18th. And then he allowed 6 on the 23rd. And about after December 16th, he allowed 4 more on December 12th. He allowed 5 more on December 16th. After that, 1-1, 3-3, 2-2, 1-4-4-4, 2-2-0, 1-4-0, 1-2-3, 0, 2-3, 1-0. So he definitely overwhelmingly got better as the season went on, but he had a very similar start last year where you had some games the save percentage was 857, 688, 889, 821, 750. He had some stinkers, 789, 883, or 833. So it seems very similar to last year, to be honest. Hey, Bill, well, the Blackhawks won't be sending Spencer back. That's for sure, right? Corey, yeah, Jones is really playing well. No doubt. No doubt. Hey, Craig, bring up Studnicka for Schwint. Maybe. I think they're just going to put Cunnin there. So we would still have, once Lusterinen comes back, we would still have Cunnin with Gregor and Greer. So I would suspect that's what will happen. And then maybe Stanika comes up to be the extra. Maybe he gets a shot. We'll see. Vincent says, team is floundering big time. I don't even know what that last game was. It's called inconsistent. It's called consistent inconsistency. Yeah, something like that. This is just what they are right now. Until guys come back or until they decide that, I mean, when you look at the standings, I know we haven't gotten to the scores yet. So the scores, the Bruins lost to the Canes 3-1. The Oilers lost to the Sabres 5-1. Good God. Capitals beat the Kings 2-1. The Jackets beat the Canadiens in a shootout, so that don't help nobody. And the Ducks beat the Mammoth 3-2 in overtime. So when you look at the standings, yeah, we're floundering. You're not wrong. But the entire conference, so the last playoff spot right now is 22 points. And tied with 22 points is the Senators, the Islanders, the Jackets, and the Rangers. And everybody else is within 4 points. Everybody is within 4 points of being in a playoff spot. And there's only 2 teams. There's only 3 teams that are more than 4 points away from being out of a playoff spot that are at the top. So the Bruins, Devils, and Hurricanes. Other than that, everybody is as humanly mid as could possibly be. And it's just going to be up to who's going to have the 5-6 game win streak late in the season, I think. I kind of feel like that's where we're headed. Mythical says our guys have to try extra hard winning games with Bob and Net like this during the regular season. Playoffs, he turns it on, but we need him to step up his play. The first one wasn't great, right? But 2 of those goals were 2-on-1s. Can't really blame Bobrovsky for a couple of them. It was just one of those games, Spaceman, yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, the Devils play good against us at home. I feel bad for Samo, Spaceman, every game is its own new season, right? Like, I don't know if we've played 2 really, I don't think we've played 3 good, consistent games in a row. It's just wild. Steven says, my Hockey Hall of Fame visit was yesterday. The gift shop legit had a shirt for sale about the Leafs winning the Cup in 1967. I was laughing out loud. Was that supposed to be a flex? Yeah, that sounds about right. Hey, Ghost Slayer. So what kind of game was that last night? We need to offload a combination of Boqvist, Belinskas, Erod, Verhaeghe for Zegras. Well, I'm just not so sure. I think Boqvist has pictures. Belinskas was okay last night except for the damn penalty. Hey, Jamal, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, the thrill of victory. We'll take it. Jamal says Boqvist is the Panthers version of McDavid, only with talent. Yeah, consistently inconsistent. Now, Mikla was okay last night, but Jones has really been playing well. He's Jones looking a little bit like Ekblad used to look before all the injuries. So that's good to see. Gray White says, Bob wants to keep me in shape with the lifting. He told me I'll give up a few goals to keep jaws working. First day back from IR, and I got to lift 5 times. What the hell's going on, man? I still can't do the presses. I can do curls and up rows, but I can't do the presses. Craig says the Canucks are good offensively. They ran Tampa Bay pretty well, right? So Vincent says the wild card spot doesn't interest me whatsoever. It's crazy town. We need a top 3. Let's see. I mean, we're 2 points out of that spot, right? The Senators have really surprised me by staying in things without Kachuk. That's a concern, to be honest with you, is that where are they going to head when Brady comes back if they're doing this well without him? Canadians have now lost 4 straight, so hopefully the wheels aren't completely coming off. The Bruins, they can't possibly keep that pace. And then there's the Red Wings who just are fumbling. I mean, you look at this. I'm looking at this, and here we go again with the Atlantic. I just seen this. The Bruins have a 0 goal differential. Everybody else in the Atlantic has a negative goal differential. Like, that's awful. It's awful. My God. I'm just seeing that now. There are 0 teams with a positive goal differential in the Atlantic. And then when you go over to the Metro, everybody is positive except the Islanders are -1 and the Jackets and Flyers are at 0. So that's really wild. I don't know what it means, but I guess it means something. Mythical says, at what point do we make a call and put Verhaeghe on the back of a milk carton? I mean, this is the guy from last year's regular season. It is what it is. You know what I mean? This is who he is now in the regular season. Vincent says, so what exactly is wrong with the defense this time around? It's laughable how they're being walked around like that, and supposedly the defense with Jones should be better, but Ekblad is a constant. Watch Forsling. I mean, Forsling on some nights he was looking a little bit better, but I don't know what exactly. I don't know what's going on with him, but he was awful last night. He just kept getting caught out of position all over the place, and it just feels like he's so used to having an extra burst, so to speak. He's so used to being able to count on his body to have just an insane amount of energy that I think he's used to being able to get out of position a little bit and make up for it. And it's not happening now. I mean, the 2 breakaways, the 2 2-on-1s was Forsling and Ekblad. And we've seen this before already this year. Guys are getting behind them left and right. So before I worry about anybody else, if Forsling and Ekblad are going to let guys behind them 2 times, 3 times a game, that's where it all starts for me. Here we go. Hey, thank you, Great White. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Great White. Appreciate you, bud. Said Jaws, is Bob playing the Devils Thursday? I would think so. I think we've talked about this a little bit. Thursdays, the Devils. Saturdays, the Oilers. Usually, they don't like to take Bobrovsky out after a bad performance. And with the 2 days off, I think you'll see Bob against the Devils and the Oilers. And then I think you'll see Tarasov against the Preds. I feel like that's what's going to end up happening. Because we've got some time off here too, right? So we got the 2 days off here, Tuesday, Wednesday. Then we got Thursday, Saturday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then we don't play Saturday, Sunday, Monday at all. So we play 4 o'clock the day after Thanksgiving, and then they got 3 days off. So you're gonna want to make sure Bob doesn't sit for too long. But you might still see Tarasov. I would say that's a 50-50. Hurricanes are +16. Jeez, yeah, the Hurricanes are +16. Good grief. Yeah, we haven't played them yet, have we? Hey, Jameson, what do I think about future Team USA captain Quinn Hughes last night? So, Bolinskis and Boquist for Hughes, Jameson. We'll throw in a first. That seems fair. That seems fair. You guys got, how much is salary? You going to eat some salary for us too? We'll take him. Don't let him languish in Vancouver his whole career. That's Jameson says done. Mike says, here's my fear. Weren't Carter Verhaeghe and Gustav Forsling picked up off waivers? Are we seeing the guys that we sent off waivers? Right. I get what I understand completely what you're saying, Mike. And that thought did kind of dangle in my head a little bit. So I think for Verhaeghe, I don't think so for Verhaeghe. Let's take this one at a time because that is a thought that I did kind of worry about. Like even his 1 year, his shot percentage, something else has happened, Mike. Even as a rookie in Tampa, his first year, his shot percentage was 15.8. Then with Florida, it was 16.8, 14.4, 15.3, and 13.8. I mean, that's just obscenely consistent, those first 5 years. Last year was supposed to be the aberration at 8.3%, and now he's at 4.4%. Now, I mean, how old is this kid? He's 30. I mean, could it actually be physical drop-off? Could something have happened to his shot where he's just not got the same release? That's a big drop-off. It's one thing if you have 1 year and then you come back. Hell, even Huberdeau came back to normal, right? So when you look at the plus minus, the same thing happened. So his years with Florida, plus 24, plus 24, plus 10, plus 17. Now all of a sudden last year he was minus 14. And yeah, I mean, he had, fewer points and he's on pace for way fewer again. I get worried about Verhaeghe like there actually being something more physical there. Now, in terms of Forsling, to be honest with you, I just feel like the dude's ice time is just kind of out of control. Let me see if I'm right. I mean, it's not so bad. It's not as bad as Ekblad's. He has just played so much hockey these last few years. To me, Forsling looks like he's the same player, but again, 29, right? He's going to be 30 in June. Like, it just looks like he's like what I said earlier, like he's accustomed to being able to be 2 steps out of position and make up that ground with that burst that he has. And I'm just not seeing that same burst out of him right now. Sean says, I'm actually not worried about Carter. I'm more worried about Bennett. Actually, take that back. I'm worried about every night since we seem to lose a guy to injury. That's for sure. Have we heard anything about Swint? I seen one person say they thought it was long-term, but did Paul say anything? Frank says, who else thinks Bob is starting to regress a bit? He's just not moving as fast. That's just not that. So, Frank, we looked at this a couple of minutes ago. Bobrovsky's doing basically the exact same thing he did at the start of last season. His numbers are extremely eerily similar to where they were at this exact moment last season. So, to me, the proof will be in the pudding in the playoffs, right? You know what I mean? I mean, eventually that will be the case. He's 37. He's not going to be 45 and playing at the same level. So sure, eventually that's going to happen. But I suspect we're not going to know that's happened until we get to the playoffs and we go, oh, damn it. Mythical says, my only guess is Swaggy's playing with some kind of injury or something we don't know about. I mean, that's a big drop off on your shot percentage after being basically 14.5% consistently for what, 6 years, and then you just boom, at half and then half again. That's just a wild drop. Gotcha, Axu. Metal says Samuel didn't get a point. If he dares to fall down in the next game, he's getting benched. Right? Right? Poor kid. And he had probably the best play of the night when he got Patera down and he waited and he had all that patience. And Patera is face down on the ice. And Samuel just boom. And to Patera from the ground, he's just like, nope. Just nope. Right in the glove. I mean, what are the freaking odds? Mel says Cole will be evaluated tomorrow. They don't think it's short term. Fantastic. That's awesome. Damn it. Well, back to Cunningham at center. I mean, that's where we started, right? That's where we started. I hate to see that for that kid. He was playing pretty well. I mean, I know he's not the second coming of Eric Stahl or anybody right now, but you know, you like your young guys to be able to develop while you're, you know, while you got guys that are out. So that's a shame because he was doing okay. I was enjoying seeing him play. He's a big dude. Sean says, we can't trade Carter. Not much value there. Bob is fine. Defense in front of him isn't very solid. Cole is done look like wrist or elbow. Yeah, something just didn't. I didn't see the they didn't show the replay on, at least not during the game. I don't know if they showed it during the intermission, but I never saw the replay where he collided with Bobrovsky. Frank, well, sure, if we get there, right? Jason says we need to play Tarasov a little more. No disrespect to Bob, but he needs to save some gas for the playoffs. We may need him a lot more this offseason. That's what I was hoping for at the beginning of the year. It was like a 50, 32, 48. What was it? 48 and 34 split. I don't think we're fixing to get that. Kenneth says, have we looked at the game tapes and evaluated Swaggy's quality of shots? That's a good question. That's a good question. Have to think about that. Frank says we can replace Cole, but E2 is a little more difficult. Yeah, I mean, Luosterainen's day-to-day, so I suspect he'll be back sooner than later. I mean, everybody, just incredible. Just the amount of injuries. It's just so damn disappointing. And so when we look, let's look at the checkers, because the hope would be we're gonna call somebody up. I can't believe that. Poor dude. I mean, I don't think he was ever going to get a chance to play in the playoffs. Where we go. So Divine is leading the team with 12 points. Where the hell is Stanika? Has only played 6 games. He's got 4 points. So I don't know if he's injured or they've just benched him and he's not playing every game. But he's only played 6 games. He's got a goal and 3 assists. So would that be who we bring up? Maybe. Maybe Vilmanis. I don't think we're going to be bringing Sachin. I don't know. Sachin's just not the biggest dude in the world, right? 5'11", 155 pounds. I mean, that's not a fourth liner. I don't know what we were. I don't know. We drafted him in the second round, but damn, dude, you got to eat a cheeseburger or something, right? What's he, 20 years old? So he's got some time to develop a little bit there, size-wise. Stanika, he's got a little bit of size, right? 6'1", $187. Okay. He's a little bit older, obviously. He was drafted in 2017 by the Bruins in the second round, but he's just not been playing a whole lot. He's only got the 6 games so far, so I don't know if he got hurt or what. Scrolling back up to see the chat here. I missed a lot, so I'm going to try to scroll through this. E2's entering his prime. Yeah, E2's been playing outstanding, right? Sean says, current injury report for the Panthers. Lusterine, Gadjevich, Kachuk, Nosik, Kulikov, Barkov, and add now Cole Schwinn. Metal says, I wonder if we could get back Stenlin to shore up center. I would overpay for that dude, but use that second we got for short if I don't know if we could even afford it. I mean, you'd probably have to send Boquist. How much is he making? Stenlin's making $2 million a year. You'd have to send Boquist. You can't add $2 million. You would have to send Boquist, and then Utah would have to say that, Utah is right in the mix here, right? Yeah, I mean, they got one more point than we do. They're tied for the last playoff spot, so I doubt that they would be. That's one of the things, Metal, is some of these teams that you can usually count on to sell, they don't suck anymore. You know what I mean? Yeah, Hungry. 1/3 of the roster has some kind of injury at the moment. Mythical says maybe we can lure Okposo out of retirement. What about Eric Stahl? Frank, I'm not sure about Divine, man. I just don't know that he's. Hold on a second. Let me get back to it. When I saw him in the preseason, it looked like he was getting shoved off the puck pretty easily. He's not that small, 6'0", 185. Just don't know if that's where you're going to, if that's the move you're going to make, because we need center depth. Craig says injuries are piling up around the league. It'll even out now, right? Bill says, I think if the Oilers cannot make the playoffs, McJesus is requesting a trade. He's got a very tradable contract, though, doesn't he now, Bill? Isn't that interesting? He's got a very tradable contract at that price. Huh? What do you think, Edmonton? Come on, Edmonton. Verhaeghe, Rodriguez, and Boquist, and a first. That's not going to do it, is it? Actually, what would a McDavid trade even look like? Not the thing I just said. I mean, I'd make that deal, but I don't think Edmonton would make that deal. Do I still think we can't get – Great White wants to know, do I still think we can't get to the playoffs until we beat the Bulls? No. I mean, we've got to continue to play well on this homestand. I think this homestand is going to have a big – I think at the end of the year, whether we get in or not, we'll look back at this homestand right now. You got 11 of 12 games at home, and you've got multiple times when you're at home and you've got more than a day off in between. You have to win those games. Those are practically gimmies. I don't care who you're playing up against. If you're at home and you're able to get rest in between games and you're not traveling, you got one game and going to Nashville in the middle of all of that. Right now, without Tkachuk, this is as good of an opportunity as this team is ever going to have to put some points in the bank, because schedule ain't going to be all that friendly. You can't get much friendlier than 11-12 at home. Sean, yeah, it could be worse. Could be the least. And the Oilers are the two best players in the league. Can't get them wins. Craig says, bringing up checkers depends on what they want. Studnicka's a little bit more offense. Skog is a little bit more defense-minded. Jason, yeah, Sam, yeah, he came back and played and looked like himself. Sam Askevich, that scared me. That's not something we need to see. Geez. Thank you, Kenneth. Studnicka left the game injured on October 25th on a kneeing penalty and didn't return. Fantastic. The injury bug is stretched all the way to the checkers. Good grief. So Frank says, can someone explain to me why Noah Gregor is not in the lineup more? The dude can skate. He's tough and has hands. So I think he's fixing to be in the lineup now without Schwint, because I think the fourth line at this point is going to be Cunnin with Greer and Gregor. So I think he's fixing to get in. He's one of those guys that, probably like Greer deserves to play, but it's just a matter of numbers. Jason, is Bill trading for Fantilli today? Yeah, let's do that. Any of these players that we might trade for now, they might not want to come because they figured as soon as they get here, they're going to get hurt. Bill says, how do we trade for McDavid? There's not a package to compensate the Oilers. And that's the truth. You can't. I mean, eventually, if they had to trade him, they'd have to find something. But any imaginary, even the imaginary trades for McDavid, the first word is Samoskevich. Just there's no planet that we could get McDavid without Samoskevich, and a lot more too. But not going to happen. Burned Oil says, in trading us McDavid, the Oilers would be more looking to get Bill Zito. They get what? In trading us McDavid, the Oilers would be more looking to get Bill Zito. They get how great of a GM he is. Gotcha. Yeah, you could do a later consideration. I mean, that's true. Frank says Charlie Coyle will be a Panther. Just watch the Bruins fans will hate us forever. Now, Craig's got an idea. Says run Belinskas as a forward and bring Sabrango back. So what do we got that's healthy? I mean, if you count Luosterainen in, Lundell, Luosterainen, Marchand, Rodriguez, Verhaeghe, Reinhart, Bennett with Boquist, and who's left? Verhaeghe, right? No. Samoskevich, yeah. And then Cunnin with Greer and Gregor, and that's it. Everybody else is hurt. And that's if you count if Luosterainen comes back. So you got to at least have somebody. I don't think there's anybody else, right? Think there's anybody else? Holy crap. Thank you, Great White. Holy geez, brother. Wow. He says, paid off my house, paid off my girlfriend. Time to move on. Damn, Great White. Congratulations, man. Holy crap. Good job. Congratulations. Holy moly. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man. Damn. I've never paid any. Oh, I can't say I've never paid anything off. I paid off my van. Proud of that. The van is my retirement. That's my retirement. Because when I get too old and I get tired of paying house payments and electric bills and all of that, where am I going to be? Down by the river in my van. That's exactly where I'll be. Don't worry, Donna. I'm just making that up. Don't worry, Mrs. Jaws. Mythical says, who would win an MMA match between Jaws and Dangle? I was a black belt in judo. So that's not a fair fight. It's not a fair fight for Steve. We'd have to play something else. That's not a fair fight. Any of you guys that ever did martial arts, you don't ever forget it. You know what I mean? You don't use it, but you never. It's like a reflex. It's like riding a bike. So that would be over quick. We'd have to pick something different. I don't want to hurt them, and I don't want to get hurt too. I could throw them, but that don't mean. Oh, you missed what I said? Yeah, it's better if you don't know what I said. It's much better if you don't know what I said. Donna woke up this morning and she just made a big-ass pot of chili. Yeah. Craig says the Dangle Rage Screech is a superpower. Maybe. He might be able to trigger my vertigo. He might be able to trigger my vertigo, Greg. If he triggers the vertigo, then I can't throw him. He might have an advantage. Oh, man. Kazuma says, if this team somehow makes it to the finals, it's one of the biggest accomplishments this team has done, let alone winning the Stanley Cup. Yeah, I mean, if we can make it, I mean, the odd thing is that everybody's hurt right now, but they could still all magically be healthy for the playoffs. We just got to get in. Yeah, so what Mrs. Jaws is talking about, she says, you're all are in for a treat on the channel tonight. So for those of you who are members, you might understand what I'm about to say. So at the beginning of the season, I made the first 2 or 3 years, all the content that I put out in the first 2 or 3 years, made it members only. And so those videos that Donna had never seen, all the old skits and everything, have been showing up in her feed. And so she sits there watching them in the morning, damn near peeing her pants laughing. So the idea is Donna and I are going to do a stream tonight in here. And we've got a few of the older videos and some of the skits and stuff. We'll have it all lined up and we'll just watch them together because she gets a real kick out of them. And she's trying to get me to go back to being funny. You know, I used to do a lot. Kyle and I used to do a whole lot of skits and funny stuff. And then, you know, dogs started dying and COVID and all that crap came. And those things got a little bit more serious. So she's trying to get me to go back to being a little bit more lighthearted about things. So she's probably right. She's probably right. JC says, what kind of crap you saying now? She laughs at those corny skits. Yeah, she loves you. What do you know? Here we go, JC. Oh, geez. That's okay, JC. Huh? Did you have any luck with the post, by the way, JC? Did you have any luck? Have you sold anything? So, yeah, it's 8 o'clock tonight. We'll be there. So it won't be overly long. You know, we'll hang out for 90 minutes or so. And then, yeah. So that's what we're going to do tonight. I was thinking about doing maybe a hockey game or something, but we'd rather have a little bit of fun because, you know, it's the 10th season. You know what I mean? So we figured, what the hell, we'll do something a little bit different. Crash says, imagine Malkin gets traded to Florida. I mean, Pittsburgh. Where's Pittsburgh? I mean, stinking Penguins. They got 24 points. I mean, the teams that are in. If you would have told me we'd be at Thanksgiving and both the Bruins and Penguins would be in the top 3 in their respective divisions, I would have. I don't know. I don't think I could have taken that bet with your money. Javian says, make Flying Fluffy funny again. She found a couple of good ones today. I can't believe some of the things I used to say. So we're going to have a good time with that tonight for sure. Bill says, I'm hoping that when Kachuk comes back, he plays the best hockey he has ever played. He's going to be fresh. We haven't seen him fresh and rested for a while, right? So I think, well, boy, doesn't he look a little bit skinny? Not that he was ever jacked, but when you see him on the podcast next to Brady, like Brady's all like, you know, buff and thick, and boy, Kachuk looks like you could break him with a toothpick. Jaws funny his own videos, yeah. Mythical says, bring back hockey with Rocky. Yeah, we might have to do that. I still got the hat. Where's the hat's not here in this room. I still got all the stuff. I don't know when I think COVID is when we stopped. I think COVID kind of took a ding out. And then let's just say the person I was living with wasn't all that funny, but we made some skits. I think the more that I tried to be serious with the channel and have it grow, I stopped doing the skits so much because the views were awful. You know what I mean? I got so depressed when the views on, I would do the skit and the views would be like way worse than the rest of the videos. It would just, you know, it kind of got me depressed to the point. So I started taking things a little bit more serious, I guess. Yeah, no, definitely funnier than nothing, no doubt there, Miss Jaws. You do have a hockey with Rocky for tonight? Oh shit. I'm letting her choose. I'm letting her choose the videos that we're gonna watch for the most part. Kazuma says the world is backwards. The team that is supposed to be bad or good. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, in the West too. Miss Joss, I think he was afraid I wasn't going to love him anymore when I saw those old videos. It's the hair. It was the bad hair. God almighty. I can't believe I let it go that long before I shaved it. Hey, David. Yeah. So Kraft says USA could be in trouble at the Olympics. I mean, and there's no guarantee that the kids that are coming back are going to instantly want to go to the Olympics. You know what I mean? I didn't turn this heat on, did I? No. Okay. Like Kachuk is just barely going to be back. Matthews might not even be back. So, but they're going to try. David says the world is a vampire sent to drain. Secret destroyers hold you up to the flame. Now, I know that's lyrics. I don't know the song, but I know that's lyrics. Yeah. Miss Jaws says, when the Panthers sucked, I was better. And that's true. That's true. I used to have so much every night to bitch and complain about, and everybody would come to watch because everybody had the same complaints, But as the team has gotten better, it's harder to make fun of a good team. That's actually part of it, I would suspect, because many nights the recap was just some kind of skit about how bad we screwed up that game. And so now, we ain't so good right now, but the last few years, it's hard to make fun of a good team. Can I remember what my first Panthers live stream was? So, no. I know that I started doing 1 hour pre-games. I think I did a season of 1 hour pre-games before the game. The year before the Vegas, when we lost to Vegas in the Cup. So the previous year, I had been doing live streams 1 hour pre-game. And then I think the playoffs before that, I had done some pre-game streams for the playoffs, I think. But I don't remember exactly which one was first. Craig says, parody this season more than ever, or I can never. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, Halloween 26 will be, so this is it's weird. It's the 9th year of the channel, but it's the 10th season. It's weird how it works. Kazuma says, I always wonder why this channel was never recommended to me back then when searching for hockey content. It wasn't until 23 that it finally recommended the channel. Yeah, and because I used to do so much non-hockey stuff. We had stuff with the dogs, and we had skits with Matthias and stuff like that. And it wasn't, the channel kind of started off as an excuse just for me to make videos with the dogs and stuff, and hockey was kind of the subject I picked. You know what I mean? It kind of started more, it was a hockey channel, but it was like 50% the dogs and stuff like that. So the algorithm just never knew what to do with it. JC says, I don't want Chucky playing in the Olympics. He'll be fresh off injury and rushed to go play in such a taxing tournament is not a good idea. I completely agree with you. Whether or not that's how they're going to run it, though, JC, I don't know. We haven't heard anything. Kenneth says, time to do dolphin skits. So, that's an idea. That's an idea, because the football channel's we're not really doing a whole lot over there. That's not a bad idea. Yeah. Yeah, he was asking about streaming, not the videos. The lyrics for Smashing Pumpkins. Gotcha. I never, not that I disliked them, but I was never, I never listened to that kind of music when it was popular. Like I listened to the 80s rock, and then in the 90s, what did I do in the 90s? What was I listening to in the 90s? Maybe a little bit more dance music. Maybe a lot of dance music in the 90s. Hey, Derek. A skit of a dolphin wanting to bang a drum and the Panthers sell out to stop him. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Hey, Derek. Kazuma says, can owners force players not to participate in international events like they do in soccer? That I don't know. I don't know. I need to leave the Dolphins. Well, Mike, he's talking about on the football channel. He's talking about over on the football channel. Yeah, Mike. Yeah, I used to, I used to go to the clubs a lot. I mean, I only turned 18 in 1989, right? So I couldn't really get into the clubs until I was 21, basically. I mean, there was some I could get into, but yeah, I was in my 20s and I used to go to the clubs, but it's not like I was driving around listening to dance music. I just wasn't driving around. If I was driving around at all in the 90s, I probably had talk radio on. You know what I mean? But in terms of, I wasn't like going to the bars and playing pool and listening to rock. I was going to the clubs dancing. So that's just the music I heard, Great White. Yeah, no, we don't need a reunion. Daryl's voice is absolutely shot. It's unfortunate. But forget about the fact, it's not even about he can't sing anymore. He can't breathe. Like it's not a matter of he can't hit that note or anything like that. He can't breathe. Like he should have stopped a few years ago. Like there's something sometimes you see him playing the keyboard, piano, you can see like his handle start shaking. The Lyme disease has gotten to him bad, and he refuses to stop. And truth be told, people behind the scenes kind of know that that's a big part of what happened with that whole feud. Kazuma is that Oates was like, "Hey man, let's stop. Let's stop. This is it's not the same anymore." And Daryl didn't want to stop, and so Oates wanted to sell and just dissolve it. So it's more than it appears on the surface. I know a couple of the people that have worked with them for a long time, and a lot of it came from Oates saying, "Hey man, we don't sound so good anymore, bro. Let's stop." I mean, Daryl's 79 years old, and he's got Lyme disease bad. So it's sad to see. You hate to see it, but age creeps up on all of us. You know what I mean? It is what it is. So, what kind of games do we have tonight? So Kazuma, yeah, but it's all produced. Like his stuff on Daryl's house is very, very produced. Live, he can't. So like he can sing a song here or there, right? So like if he's in a studio and he can take time in between takes and sing a few lines, it's fine. And live, he can get through about 2 or 3 songs. But after about that, he can't breathe. You can hear it. His voice is all raspy, and he has trouble breathing. So he probably should just stick to recording albums. So let's look at the games for tonight. Let's see. What do we got going on tonight while we're doing this stream? We got a bunch of games. We got the Blues are going to beat the Leafs. I'm just going to make predictions. We got the Blues are going to beat the Leafs, and we're going to all enjoy Dangle's video tomorrow. The Devils are going to beat the Lightning, but it's going to be in overtime, so they get a stinking point. The Wings are going to beat the Kraken. The Islanders are going to beat the Stars. The Jets are going to beat the Jackets. The Blackhawks better beat the Flames. The Rangers and Knights will go to overtime, and Golden Knights will win in the shootout. And the Sharks are going to obliterate the Mammoth. So go put all your money on those picks. And then if it's wrong, don't blame me. But if it's right, I get half. That's how accountability works. I am only responsible if I'm right. Otherwise, forget about it. I got responsibility enough. Which, by the way, you guys want to hear something funny? For those of you that came to the stream last night, are you ready for this shit? Are you ready for this? So y'all watched the stream last night, and I came off of IR early because my arm still hurts. But Kyle pulled a calf muscle yesterday. He could barely walk. He was massaging it all day, the whole thing, right? So I lifted for the 5 goals last night. So I came in and I did the recap and all of that. And I went outside because sometimes at night when it's nice and cool, I like to go out there and walk around the yard for an hour before I go to bed. And so I come in at about 12:15. And do you know that son of a bitch had his headphones on and was dancing around the living room just fine? Do you know that? I got absolutely tricked to coming off of IR, and he was. Oh, I just want to test it and see how the leg feels. Like, man, you dancing around. He had the Temptations on YouTube. He's got his headphones on, and I ended up having to lift for 5 goals. I got suckered. I got suckered. So it is what it is. Craig says I need video proof. Damn, I didn't have my phone with me because I don't take the phone outside when I'm going outside. Damn it. It's a good point. Hey, David. Yeah, that was the best Hall & That was one of the best. That was a Oates song. John wrote that song. He got stood up on New Year's Eve. He was dating a girl, and they had a date. And he went to the place, and he got stood up. And so he came home, and he wrote She's Gone, and then that's what it turned into. People think Daryl's the one that did everything. And that's not as much. That's not as much as you would think. Great White says, Kyle duped you. Yeah, he did. I got robbed, man. Yeah, David says, it's funny that in an 8-5 game, we got a save of the year candidate. Pissed me off, too. Sam Miskevich did everything perfect. He did everything perfect. He slides across. He waits. Patera goes down. Patera is literally licking the ice. He's licking the ice like it's a freaking telephone pole. And Samo just roofs it. And guy, nope, no thanks, no thanks. So, David, oh, sure, it was Daryl's voice. No doubt. But John had his contributions too. It'll be. Craig says Kyle will be in a cast next stream, right? Well, you know what's funny? Hey, Mr. Krabs, what's funny is, let me move the camera. I'm going to tell you a story since we're throwing Kyle under the bus. So, okay, you see that flag on the wall? You see that Panthers flag over there? Okay. So this room has always been like the multifunction room. Oh, I don't want to get rid of Roy. Can't get rid of the chief. So this room has been many, many different things. And so one of the times it was kind of half empty, and he used to come in here and dance in here because when Karen was living here, if he was dancing downstairs making noise, it would irritate her while she was trying to work. So I set it up where he could dance in here. So what is behind that flag that I just showed you is a giant hole in the wall where he was dancing and he tripped and fell and went knee first right into the wall and busted the wall board up. And did I fix it or did I don't even remember if I fixed the hole. Let me see. No. Well, not really. I minorly patched it because I still need to paint the room. So I didn't want to fix the thing until I was going to paint the room, because I had to repaint the room because the room was painted. The room was painted. And then let's just say the previous residence was the previous female resident liked to throw things when she got aggravated. And let's just say, for shits and giggles, she was in here one day doing watercolors, and I came in and she got aggravated and threw things at my head, which you guys know she was apt to do. And so the paint job that she did on this room then got ruined because the watercolors got all over the wall. So, yeah. So then Kyle busted through the wall not that long after that. And so I haven't painted it or fixed it since. And that's how you roll when you got a 3,400 square foot house that's built from the 70s. You just can't fix everything. It's just Mike says, let me translate now for you. I didn't want to fix the wall because then I would have to go ahead and paint. Exactly. No, not even going to pretend like that's not exactly the truth. That is how the wall got ruined. And yeah, I just was like, F it. I only need this little portion of the wall and the little portion over there of the wall. You guys can't see where all the watercolor is dripping down the wall over there. And it's all splattered over there on the closet doors. I had to clean those off. And then, yeah, the wall over there is busted. Yeah, and then Kyle went through the wall. David says, listen, when a man says he will fix something, there's no reason to remind us every 6 months. Exactly. We're going to do it. We didn't say when. We will do it. And the more that you, David, I know that you understand this. I've tried to explain this before. If I say I'm going to do it, the more that every time you ask me or remind me if I'm going to do that, the clock starts again. Just out of principle, the clock starts completely again, which is why when Karen lived here, I didn't really get a whole lot done. Just saying. JC says, not a biased opinion, but Donna is 1,000% an upgrade. You got that right. You ain't kidding there. No doubt, Mr. Krabs. Oh, damn, Miss Jaws. Dave said, yep, it's a week later each time. True story, David. I'll tell you one more story before I go, because I told Kyle we'll go to the gym. Brother Gene and I, when I used to live in Melbourne, the first time I lived in Melbourne, it was very much a residential area. We lived behind each other. So his house, my house, and the backyards connected. And he had a well and I didn't. And so we always shared a well. I would run a hose and I would water my grass with his well water. Did that for years. Well, then he met a woman. And that woman decided that I was using and abusing him because who knew how much electricity the pump was using when I was running the water so I could water my grass. And so every day he started bitching and complaining to me, hey man, stop watering the grass because Tracy said that. And so every day that he bitched at me, what I would do was I would say, hey, okay, that's cool. And then before I would go to bed, I would go turn the sprinkler on and leave the damn thing on the whole night. And every day he'd get up and say, God damn it. And I said, the day that you stop asking me, when you stop bugging me about not using it, that's when I'll stop using it. And it never happened. It never happened. See, because I had paid half the money to repair the pump. The pump had broken. And so we spent like $300 to repair the pump. And so I paid half and he paid half. And so I said, well, if I can't use the water anymore, you got to give me half my money back because I paid to fix the pump, paid half to fix the pump. And so one day after weeks and weeks and weeks of him getting sick and tired of his new woman bitching at him because I was using the water, he came over with a $150 check and I stopped using the water. Oh man, great white. Who's Brother Gene? Brother Gene is Brother Gene. Brother Gene is my brother from another mother. We grew up across the street from each other, and when we were in Miami. Brother Gene, hold on a second. See, now you guys got me going. Poor Kyle's thinking we're going to the gym. Brother Gene has his own chapter in my book. Brother Gene has his own chapter in my book. Where is the chapter? I think it's a chapter titled Brother Gene. I'm pretty sure. Let's see. Where's the chapter page? Brother Gene has a chapter from page 39 to 48. Here we go. Let's see. All right, so there's where the chapter of Brother Gene did 5 tours. There's a video on this channel where Brother Gene got honored by the Panthers because they used to have a good relationship with them. And Mike Caldwell saw me talking about my brother on Twitter, and they contacted me, and he was one of the heroes that they honored. That was years. It was all the good stuff happened before the channel blew up. Not blew up, but you know what I mean. Everything that happened before I had 1,000 subscribers. And so I'm telling all the stories. So like there's a picture from the candy store from Fort Lauderdale. There's a picture of the Denny's that we used to dine and dash all the time. And where's the casino? So there's my house that I grew up in. There's the house I grew up in. You have to buy the book to get the stories. You have to buy the book to get the stories. Links are in the description. And then here's the pages. So that's Brother Gene at a Hall & Oates concert. And then that's him and I. We were making chicken wings at his house as kids. And then that's us as old men going to the club. Not old men, but like mid-30s. So old enough. So yeah, links are in the description. I know most people don't know I had a book because, again, I wrote the book like 5 years ago or 4 years ago. It wasn't 5 years ago. It was after the Vegas loss. So it wasn't even that long ago. It was after the Vegas loss. JC, the wet t-shirt candies. Yeah, don't get me started. Don, we would have never got Donna out of the candy store. We would have never gotten Donna out of the candy store. She would have just wanted to stay in the basement. And JC, you know why. Hold on a second. The links are in the description, but let me see. Let me just do this real quick. Let's see here. Link to the book. Here we go. You got it? All right, she's got it. So yeah, she's got the link. She's got the link. JC says you're wearing exactly what I pictured you'd be wearing to the club. Bootleg Miami Vice. Oh, I had all the Miami Vice stuff. I had all the Don Johnson stuff. I'm not even going to lie. I had all that. When I worked as a kid, I'd go right to the Bird Lines and get all the Miami Vice stuff. No doubt. No doubt. Hustler has a great story here as well, right? Yeah, the back. Yeah. The back cover. That's the back cover. Yeah. Best picture I ever took. That's for sure. So, yeah, it's lessons in faith in sports. The idea to the story, the idea to the book, it's my life story. But the thing of it was that was the year that in the season preview, I said that the Panthers were going to start slow, get better as they go, and win the cup. And it all exactly happened until we lost to Vegas. And so it was a lesson. So, all right, everybody. I got to roll. I got to get Kyle to the gym. I got Kyle up early to get to the gym at 1:00. So I have to make good on what I said. Padded shoulders. I hated the padded shoulders. Now I draw the line there. The jackets would come with the sewn-in padded shoulders, and the first thing I would do is cut them off. The first thing I would do is cut the padded shoulders off. But I wore the ties and the vests. I'm not going to lie. David, tonight we're having a live stream at 8 o'clock. Don and I are going to be live. We're going to be going back to the first few years of this channel. Yep, we're going to be streaming. We're going to go back to the first 2-3 years of this channel and have some fun watching the old skits and stuff that Donna is just now discovering. And so that's what we're going to be doing. Yep. 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock tonight. Yep. So, all right, everybody. Thank you all for the super chats. Appreciate all the love and support. And Donna and I will see you. You'll still be 8-bit slow. Yeah. And, it'll be recorded, so if people miss it. So, all right, everybody. We'll see you tonight. Thanks.